How God helped my anxiety. Now, listen, guys, this might seem like a very difficult question to answer, because a lot of people are not religious. Some people are in different religions. As you know, I am Christian, and I can only share my experience from my own personal experience. So, what I've noticed with how God helped my anxiety is firstly the teachings of Christianity symbolizes showing love to other people as well as loving yourself. And I think it's very important, very, very important to firstly have love for yourself and then also show that love that you have for yourself to other people. And by showing this love and having this love for yourself, you're more likely to have less fear. And a lot of people battle with fear, and fear is directly linked to the cause of anxiety. A lot of people get anxious because they're in a fear state, they're actually scared or afraid of something, and therefore their body or their mind responds in a certain way that shows that they're in a fear or anxious state. And I've noticed myself to be in these types of states numerous times, and whenever I link it or I go back or I seek that higher power, God or Christ, whenever I seek this higher power, I feel so tranquil. I feel so at peace with myself. I feel as though I'm putting my burdens on Him, and all that pressure alleviates itself. It's very strange. It's almost like a spiritual thing. And if you're not someone that has seeked spiritual experience or seeked a spiritual life, just in any way, shape, or form, if you've never experienced anything spiritual, then the likelihood of you knowing what it feels like to be in a spiritual state would be very difficult. I can't sit here and tell you I've been through so many spiritual experiences, and if you've never had if you've never had a spiritual experience, you're not gonna know what I'm talking about. You'd probably just think, "Oh, this video is a hoax." It's almost like if you've never achieved something in your life and I've achieved that thing, if I tell you how to achieve this thing, you are going to be less likely to have the motivation, the willpower, that the drive to go and perform the actions that I performed to go and experience this thing. You're less likely to because of the fear that what if it goes wrong? What if I'm not doing it right? What if this? What if that? A lot of us tend to ask the wrong questions. The questions we should be asking in times like this is, what could I do to make this situation better? Is this, if I do this thing, will I actually receive the reward I was expecting? Okay, let me try this out. I'm curious. We should be more curious to do the positive things that will, change our lives in a better way, as opposed to being in a fair state and asking the wrong questions that makes us worry more. And I've noticed that while seeking God and only God, I feel so calm. It's weird. I just feel so calm and at peace with myself. Let's just negate all the things I tell you to do about improving your anxiety. So, like the breathing, the exercising, the socializing with friends. These are all amazing things to help reduce your anxiety. But my greatest return of interest, return of investment, my greatest ROI has always been when I seek God. And it says it in the Bible, obviously, Matthew 6, verse 33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So if you're looking for peace, if you're looking for money, if you're looking for a place to live in, if you're looking for friends, if you're looking for hobbies, whatever you're looking for, think about it like this. Everything belongs to God. Your anxiety, your depression, your stress, all these things, your bills, your money, your savings, the house and the roof you live under, all these things belong to him. And all he requires, as he said, is to give him 10%. And this is not a lot, there's a lot of misconception on this 10%, giving God 10%. But essentially, 10% could be anything. If you have or you were given 10 oranges, 10% would be one orange. You would need to give away one orange to a charitable cause, to a friend, a family member, someone that needs it, a homeless person. If you get paid from work, you would need to give, or whoever, if someone gives you, £10, £20, £30, you would need to give 10% to God. Because he owns it all. He owns everything. Realistically, if you receive that £30, God deserves to get that entire £30. But he only asked for 10%. So just give him the £3 and he will multiply it. It's almost like if you, and this for anything, I know this is kind of off topic, but I truly do believe if you start giving 10% of whatever you get to other people or to charitable causes or to, if you go to a church or a mosque, whatever religion you are, if you start giving this 10% away, you will become a lot more fruitful. You'll start to see your purpose or your work or your job. You'll start to see advancements. You'll start seeing people giving you more. You'll start to see your money multiplying. But I think also being someone that can manage your life as well. If you manage your body, God will see this and he will say, okay, I can trust this person with looking after their body, so I'm going to relieve them of anxiety. He came to me, he seeked me, the owner of everything. I own everything. He needed help, and he showed the sacrifice by giving 10%, looking after his body, managing it. So in return, I'll make sure he has a good life. So practically in any scenario, if you give 10% of whatever you get or whatever you have, you probably have clothes in your drawer that you've probably never worn. You could literally give that away to someone that needs it. And you'll probably never wear it as well because you're not the same size or height or body figure for that clothing. And you probably don't intend to get to that body size again. So that clothing will pretty much just be in your wardrobe for the rest of, whenever you decide to throw it away. So instead of waiting and delaying, why not take the action now? Give that thing away. And in return, you'll receive blessings from other things. At the end of the day, God knows what you want. He will never give you something that you can't manage. But you need to show him that you can manage the small things so he can give you the bigger things. If you can't manage stress and anxiety and you always go through, and he sees that when you get anxious, you go drink fizzy drinks, you go eat fast food, and you're depressed and you're just more down, you're just worrying about the situation. God sees that you can't manage your body. You can't look after a small thing. So why would he give you the bigger things in life? And only recently I started to develop this mindset of being more managerial, being someone that manages and takes responsibility over every single thing in my life. I've learned so much this year and I'm so grateful to God for giving me the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding. A lot of people get anxiety because they're chasing the wrong things. So if you're someone like this, you always have anxiety, you're always depressed, you're always stressed out about things, you worry about the future and the past. If you're this type of person, maybe you're just not managing your life properly, and that's why in return, you're getting the wrong rewards. You're getting the things that you can't or you don't want. And not necessarily that you don't want these things. It's just because that is what you deserve. That's what you can manage. Like I said, God will never give you something you can't manage. He will always give you something that you can just about manage. And that's just to try you, just to see, can this person manage this £10? What will he do with the money? Will he give me the 10%? And then what will he do with the rest of my 90%? Because remember, God owns everything. This is a kingdom and we are God's citizens, essentially. And in a kingdom, the owner, God, he owns everything. So if you look at it from that perspective, if God is the owner, he's the king, and we are in his kingdom and we are his citizens and he owns everything, why would why would the first thing we seek be a worry or a concern or eating more food that is unhealthy for us or drinking like fizzy drinks and sweets? Why would we seek these fast, pleasurable things, expecting it to help our situation? Why would we seek vices, drugs, alcohol? Why do we seek these things, expecting that this will fix the situation, when we know exactly what will fix the situation? It's because we've been mismanaging our lives. So, going back to when I was younger, I was, let's just say, 11 years old. I vividly remember at this age, I was very energetic, like super energetic, like just jumping off walls, literally jumping off walls. Like I remember there used to be like a house I lived in and the walls were like slim in the corridor, and I'd have my sliders on or slippers, and they had some nice grip on them. And I'd literally put my feet on like both sides and like jump up so I could go higher and higher. I'm not gonna lie, that used to be fun. That used to be fun. That was probably my best like childhood experience. Like just walking up the ceiling, just walking up the walls. Like I felt like I was like Spider-Man or something. But okay, I remember at this age, I used to be I used to be like anxious like all the time. I didn't really notice it until I got like a little bit older, but I used to be anxious all the time. And it might, from the outside, like from my family's view or from friends' view, they would just see me as like someone that's annoying, someone that seeks a lot of attention, someone that is overly energetic. But the root cause to my problem was that I had too much anxiety because I was stressed about too many things. And I didn't know how to fix this situation. I didn't know how to lead myself. I didn't know how to manage my life, how to structure my life, how to plan my life out. I didn't know what I wanted to do in the future. All I literally cared about was the family I lived with and playing games. Literally, those were my two main focuses. And I'm so grateful to my mother for always for always ensuring that she took me to church every week, like every weekend on Sunday. And I remember during service, she would always give me £1 to put in the offering basket. And there was this time where I saved like £1 myself. So I had like £2 and I was going to put in the offering basket. And I was excited, like I was actually happy. But I was happy about the wrong things. I was happy that I had the most money to put in the offering basket, as opposed to being happy that I'm dedicating a portion of my money to build the kingdom of God. And in return, God will, develop me and help me out with my situation. And slowly but surely, as I got older, I started to realize that in certain situations where I was in a lot of trouble, he would always protect me. And I'll give you an example of where he always, like, a really good situation where he literally protected me. And I do believe it's because all that money I was putting aside, all the praying, like, just believing in him, having faith, being grateful to him, thanking him. All these times where I showed him that I had faith in him. There was a time where I was in a car and one of my family members was driving and he went inside. Well, we parked on like, it was like a hill. Like the parking spot was like, like grass, like mud, but the mud was like hill. And then just like literally a meter away from the parking spot, there was like a main road. So like literally, let's just say the car's parked on this like hill, some small parking spot. It was in New Cross, like if you know where that is near Goldsmiths. It was a really small parking spot, and I was parked in there, massive car, and I was sitting in the front seat. And in the little cup holder, I had a Fanta. So you could only imagine how much energy I had. And I can't even understand what thoughts were going through my mind. But I looked at the I always forget the braking pad. I always forget the name of this. I looked at the braking pad for the car, the steer lock, the braking locks, brake locks, whatever it's called. The thing that you like pull up in the middle of the car beside the two seats at the front. You know what I'm talking about? It's just some long circuit cylinder, whatever it's called. I genuinely I always forget the name of it. I can drive now, so that's kind of appalling that I don't even know the name of this. Anyway, I was looking at it and it was like so stiff and there was like a button at the end of it. And like usually like I see the family member like pull it down or up before moving the car. So I was just curious, like, what is this thing? And silly old me, or silly young me, I, you know, I'm holding it now and I press the button and the lock just seems to eject and then well, I think it was up. So I press it and then somehow I just managed to like put it down and the car starts to roll backwards. Literally, my heart disappeared. Like I was absolutely like traumatized. It felt like everything was going slow in this moment, and my literally my life just flashed before itself. And before you know it, the car's rolling. It's gone on the main road, but like, and I'm still grateful to God for this. But no car was coming at that moment, and the car rolled back and it hit the wall on the other side, and then the car just stopped. And then before you know it, like my family member rushed out, and people were just people started coming in cars now and driving past me. So just imagine like if cars were coming at that moment, I would have been finished. Like I would have been cooked. I would have been absolutely finished, guys. So it's just like it just calls into question if I had no faith. And a lot of people will say, "Oh yeah, but it doesn't matter. Even if you didn't believe in God, the same thing would have happened." But like for me personally, I truly do believe that God was there for me in that moment. And that has always been a testimony for me to obviously tell other people that God is real. And if you put your trust in him and you believe in him and you show that through your actions, not just through your words, you show God that you genuinely care about him and you're grateful to him. Because a lot of people prioritize money. Like money is, you can't serve two masters basically. It's either you serve money or you serve God. And a lot of people serve money. So by showing God that I cared about him and I sacrificed all that money that I used to have, I could have bought sweets instead with the £1. But I decided to always give my offering. Now I pay my tithes, always give 10%. And it's funny that I say that, but he showed me that like he is real and he is someone to depend on. I can put my faith on him And that's just one situation out of many. But he showed me that he was there for me and he protected me. And that really like reduces my anxiety because I know I can put my faith into someone that has never forsaken me. He's never let me down. He's always there for me. And I'll give you one more example. I'll share another story with you where God like really showed me how he helped in my life. Obviously, this might be very like you guys are probably thinking, "Oh, this is just coincidental." Like I have a lot of friends that they're so they're so what's the word? They're so persistent in not believing that God exists. Or at least like they want more proof. They literally want to see God physically before they believe that God exists, and that's never gonna happen because he's not gonna decrease his status to come down. Like no man has ever seen him. Why should someone that has no faith see him? Like people that serve him religiously, give everything to him, even those types of people don't see him. So why would someone that doesn't even believe in him and will probably end up in hell, why would someone like that deserve God coming down and just to prove that he's real and God's not vain. He doesn't need to prove anything to people. One second, guys. All right, so I just had a parcel and I had to go take that. If not, they would have taken it. So, guys, the second part of my story that I wanted to share with you guys is there was this time I was working in a work from home job, and I remember I was making like £300 a month, and like roughly maybe a bit more if I would work the occasional half day extra. But I remember I was making like literally £300 a month, and I vividly remember I got paid like £290 for the week, and it was let's just say it's Sunday now, and my pastor at church told all of us give a generous seed, like give God a generous amount, and you will expect something good to happen by Monday. And something compelled me to just give as much as I could, and I think I just gave like £30 or £50. I just literally gave my tithes. And I think also the pastor was like preaching about giving tithes and stuff like that, and something miraculous will happen. And genuinely, I had the faith in my heart that something good would happen. I could feel the butterflies. I could just feel it as we were praying. Like I could just feel something amazing was gonna happen. And fast forward on Tuesday, like, okay, not on the day they said, but literally the day after. Because I still believed, even after Monday passed, I still believed something good will happen. Because she said, Monday, the people that believe the most, they will receive something, but you will still receive something by the end of the week. Just have some faith. If you don't receive it on Monday, just still have faith and believe the rest of the week you will still receive something. And the funniest thing happens. On the Tuesday, I received £800. Like, I was like, what the heck? And I didn't know where this money came from. So I received my pay, and then I received £800 extra. Like, I didn't even know where that money came from. So what I did is I made sure to give God like £80, which is 10%. And like ever since then, like I've made sure I always pay my tithes, and I always will. I always do pay my tithes. And like I said, you can pay tithes in different forms. It doesn't need to be money. It's just obviously, for me, like helping build my church is something I truly deem as a positive thing. And obviously, recently I realized that paying tithes is not just 10% of your income, it's 10% of anything you receive. So if you receive 10 oranges, giving one away. If you receive 20 bananas, giving two away. So just 10% of whatever you receive. And I was so gassed. I was so happy. I didn't even feel like bad for giving God £80. You know how some people, they'll receive like, let's say you expect a blessing to happen, and this blessing happens, and you, let's say you make 10K, and like your pastor was praying for you, and God finally he gained the trust that you would be able to manage this £10,000 properly, and you receive, actually, what's funny is this is actually a true story that happened to someone that was in our church. True story, guys. So this person received £10,000 after like we after the church prayed numerous times for this person to receive it, and they received this £10,000, guys, and they were gone. I never saw that person again. Like literally, I never saw this person again. And I heard that this person lost all the money and they're back to square one. And now they're like scared or afraid to come back because they didn't give the church anything. So it just goes into like, if with all these stories like adding up, you would be stupid to not believe. Like in my situation, like if you was in my situation and you've been through so many of these experiences where God has blessed you literally every time and time again, he's blessed you. Like I should be blind right now. As you can see, I have a scar under my eye. But like once again, God help, like didn't allow that to happen because my mom was like very prayerful as a child, well, in her youth. So, moral of the story, this is how I put my trust in God to help with my anxiety. And time again, he's proven himself. Now, like I said, I'm not here to convert anyone into Christianity. I truly do believe that if you are not religious at all, if you have no religion, like I'm not telling you be a religious person. All I'm telling you is seek God and find him for yourself. And if the case is that you become a Christian, fantastic. If not, that's absolutely fine. Just keep it in your mind. At the end of the day, I've planted the seed. So most people probably won't watch this video. So I'm just shooting in the air at this point. But I wanted to make this video, and I'm so happy I have. And I've had a few distractions already, but I finally made the video. So hopefully from my own experiences, you can seek God for yourself, read the Bible, seek Christ, and hopefully get baptized and repent of your sins and, follow Christ as a disciple. So make sure, guys, to check out my Discord. I'll be doing future one-on-one consultations, coaching sessions, mentorships. I will have courses out in the future. I just want to make sure that I can be a representative for the people that have anxiety and reduce that as much as I can, because no one deserves to be in an anxious state. And if you are, I want you to know that anxiety is not a problem and it will never have a toll over your life. It's all just thoughts, and you should never be afraid because we are conquerors. So it's been your boy Paul Khadar. I love you guys all. Take care. We out. Peace.